Creating a positive and safe classroom environment is essential to fostering a student's learning. It is important to keep in mind that teachers must remain positive within their classroom, because if teachers present positivity toward their students are most likely to respond in the best way. As this comic strip expresses, teachers must act as if students will be successful, because if a teacher sets his or her expectations high, students are likely to follow on that path. The self-fulfilling prophecy described in Janice L. Nath and Myrna D. Cohen's book, In Becoming a Middle School or High School Teacher in Texas. Nath and Cohen explain several aspects of creating a positive classroom environment. They include the factors of creating a collaborative classroom, inviting all students to work with and off of one another to find answers, fostering technology in the classroom, providing supplemental instruction to the students, teaming up with other disciplines to create a cross-curriculum platform, and offering constant communication. One of the most important aspects of creating a positive and safe classroom environment is the development of a class management plan. Rules must be set in place for students to follow, and these rules should be addressed very clearly in the semester so students can quickly begin understanding what is expected. Clear consequences should also be defined so students can know what to expect if they decide to misbehave. This rule system will allow classes to run more smoothly. Cohen and Nath explain that the main goal of a positive classroom management is to assist students to develop skills to control themselves and to take responsibility for their own behavior. Nath and Cohen explain that in order to physically create a positive and effective classroom environment, teachers should consider small group or circular seating arrangements as opposed to linear seating. They also explain that semicircles or a horseshoe pattern and a circle formation are best suited for whole class discussion. By placing students in groupings and allowing students to see each other and interact, they feel safe in their classroom community. This layout shows effective ways to physically group and design a classroom. By having students sit together, they interact with one another, and giving the students several options for additional resources, such as the computers and craft centers, allows students to have a great layout for learning. Also, since the teacher is sat closely to the students, they are able to interact more easily. As new technologies are advanced and made readily available, teachers need to take advantage of all technology devices offered. Students respond more quickly and effectively to technology because they are familiar with the programs. Nath and Cohen explain that teachers should provide a learning environment where students can learn easily with technology, and teachers should physically structure the classroom to where computers and other technological devices are made available to students. Believe it or not, schools are well on their way to becoming paperless. A new alternative to test taking involves the use of clickers to assess and evaluate students. Questions are displayed on a smartboard, and students answer the question through the clicker device shown. Though this form of technology is scary for some teachers, teachers must understand that technology is inevitable and will actually benefit them and their students and help create a positive learning environment. Nath and Cohen explain that teachers need to be sensitive to both their interactions with students and the ways in which they encourage students to interact with one another. This aspect of creating a safe and positive classroom environment is key to student and teacher success. There are several forms of communication that may be introduced in a classroom, and by constantly monitoring students by walking around, participating in their discussion, and offering aid and assistance when needed will help the student succeed and the teacher become more meaningful. It is incredibly important to make the classroom a safe place for all races and different cultures. Teachers must structure their classroom in a way that welcomes all types of students, from high achieving to low achieving, from American students to foreign exchange students. Students need to feel very safe in the classroom because unfortunately the classroom may stand as the safest place they know. As teachers, we must take into account every stereotype threat that may occur and create ways to approach and stop these threats from happening within the classroom. Nath and Cohen explain that teachers can create a safe environment of acceptance by modeling, examining school policies, and promoting the different points of view that arise in a diverse classroom. Promoting student work and achievement is crucial to letting students know how much they are appreciated in the classroom. This picture and the three following are taken from Mrs. Shanna Severance' 11th grade English classroom. Mrs. Severance has a great work wall that displays the students' good papers and assignments. This wall boosts the self-confidence within her students. Mrs. Severance also has a bulletin board that is always decorated with the latest creative assignment she gives her students. She often requires that her students create an original drawing or collage for the unit she is teaching. These creative pieces are then displayed on the bulletin board until the next unit. This type of wall in a classroom will help keep students focused and interested. This board also motivates students to create something unique that is worthy of going on the wall. Mrs. Severance also has a bulletin board directed toward the current events in the school. She has all the schedules of the sports teams, the band, and the UIL academic meets. She also will cut out pictures or newspaper clippings that include one of her students' names or picture. This type of wall promotes community throughout the classroom and the entire town. Also, this wall promotes extracurricular activities, which will help students stay positive and learn more. Lastly, Ms. Severance hangs up several encouraging and informative posters on the walls of her classroom. These walls help to boost the confidence of her students, and they also provide them with definitions and examples of several aspects of the subject she teaches. Nathan Cohen explains that pictures, graphic illustrations, book jackets, posters, and student projects should be widely displayed in a positive classroom. A classroom library allows students to constantly have access to books that will help them either in life or in their classroom. A library may contain books that are applicable to the subject the teacher is teaching, but a library may also contain self-help type books or young adult literature that can be used to help students define themselves or help them through a tough situation. Allowing students to use the class library as a place to read and discover new ideas promotes literacy. Reading can and should be introduced in all core subjects. Math and science teachers should play with the idea of creating a book nook type station where students can individually or in a group go and read books that will help them learn. Providing handouts for students that are readily available will help create a positive learning environment. Students frequently need mini lessons and refreshers about common rules and strategies for writing and reading. These handouts will allow students to constantly refresh their minds on what to do and what not to do in those situations. Teachers may find it helpful to provide several types of handouts in their classroom because these handouts may help clarify lessons and allow for more efficient teaching tactics. Also, these handouts may be available to students from other classes that may need help in cross-curricular instances. Providing students with workstations to complete tasks is another essential part to creating a positive classroom environment. Nathan Cohen explained that learning centers, listening centers, library areas, or computer stations are best located where there is less traffic. By having a large amount of supplies on hand, the teacher allows the students to create original designs in the classroom. This model demonstrates the many benefits that comes from a safe and positive classroom environment. These benefits extend from the students to the teacher. This model also lists 8 features that may be included in an effective classroom, including that of resources and handouts that we spoke of earlier. All of these centers and desk arrangement techniques allows students to enhance their own learning and also provides teachers with a positive relationship with their students. This puzzle acts as the strong foundation that a positive classroom environment can create. Each piece is structured in a way that aids in the learning process, and when combined with the other 3 pieces, this entire puzzle is hard to break. Teachers must clearly outline the behavioral expectations they have developed for their students, and they should also outline the academic expectations they have placed for their students to work toward achieving. By introducing these expectations with enthusiasm and fervor, the teacher will create a positive rapport with his or her students, which will promote student learning and camaraderie. I hope to create a positive learning experience and environment for all of my students. I want to first and foremost incorporate technology into every aspect that I can in my teaching. I feel that technology is the most exciting and fun new thing that education has to offer. I also want to incorporate several of the learning centers that Ms. Severance does in her classroom. By providing the great work wall, I want to display all of the students' great work that they're doing and letting them know that I'm really proud of them and I'm excited to see where they're going with their work. And I also want to provide book nooks and a classroom library and creative centers so that my students can prosper within the classroom and they aren't expected to do everything outside of the classroom. And I also want to hang up different posters on the wall to encourage them and welcome them in, because I feel like these will definitely help them feel at home. And I hope by all of these ways I can create a positive learning environment for my students.